you ready to tap into your inner power and discover the unstoppable force within you? In this video, we delve into the profound teachings of Stoicism and how it can transform your life. Lesson 1. Inner peace makes you immune to manipulation. Inner peace is not just a feeling, it is strength. It is the kind of strength that cannot be stolen. Stoicism teaches that peace begins inside the mind. It is not based on what others say. It is not shaped by the world outside. It is something that lives within. When your peace lives inside you, no one can reach it. That is why people with inner peace are hard to manipulate. Many people are controlled by praise and blame. They feel good when praised. They feel broken when criticized. But the Stoic lives differently. The Stoic does not depend on the opinions of others. A Stoic does not chase approval, nor do they fear rejection. Their value does not rise or fall with the words of others. They have found stillness within. This stillness protects them. Inner peace also gives clarity. When you are calm, you see things clearly. You are not pulled by emotions. You do not react in haste. You can listen. You can understand. You can choose your action. This power makes you free. You are no longer a puppet pulled by strings. You become your own master. You are led by reason. You are guided by wisdom. People often try to control others through fear or flattery, but a Stoic cannot be moved by fear. A Stoic is not hungry for praise. This makes them different. This makes them dangerous to those who seek control. You become a mirror. You reflect truth. You do not bend. You do not break. A person with peace does not need to fight. They are not easily angered. They are not easily fooled. Their calm is their defense. Their stillness is their armor. Others may shout, but the Stoic listens. Others may try to provoke, but the Stoic remains still. That silence makes the manipulator weak, because manipulation depends on reaction. If you don't react, you cannot be controlled. When you hold inner peace, you walk with confidence. You move with purpose. You do not rush. You do not panic. You are not trying to prove anything. You already know who you are. You do not explain yourself too much. You do not argue with everyone. You know what matters, and you stay true to that. This kind of person becomes untouchable, not because they are loud, not because they are feared, but because they are firm, they are still, they are whole. That is true power, the kind of power that cannot be bought, the kind of power that cannot be broken. That is what Stoicism builds, a deep strength, a quiet force, a peace so strong it makes you uncontrollable. Lesson 2. You master power by controlling your reactions. Power is not found in what you can control outside. It is found in how you control yourself inside. Stoicism teaches that your first task is not to change others. Your first task is to master your own mind. The way you react builds your power, or it destroys it. The choice is yours. When someone insults you, your reaction shows who you are. When life throws chaos, your reaction becomes your mirror. The Stoic teaches us to pause, to wait, to not let the first emotion rule. That pause is powerful. That silence is sacred. It is the space where reason lives. A person who reacts quickly is easy to predict, easy to control, but a Stoic waits. They do not fight every battle. They do not explain every feeling. They do not rush to defend their ego. They choose their response with care. They let the fire inside burn slowly. They do not let it escape in anger. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Many think power comes from showing strength, but true strength is in restraint. The man who can hit but chooses peace is stronger than the man who always fights. The woman who can shout but chooses silence holds more power than the one who screams. Control is not about what you do. It is about what you choose not to do. The Stoic trains the mind every day. They watch their thoughts. They question their judgments. They choose not to believe every feeling. Not every emotion is true. Not every thought is useful. That awareness builds power. Over time, the mind becomes sharper. The heart becomes calmer. You stop reacting to everything. You start choosing your battles. That choice is freedom. A person who controls their reactions cannot be easily provoked. They do not feed the drama. They do not follow every noise. They stay steady. That steadiness creates a strong presence. Others can feel it. It creates respect. People notice those who do not lose control. When you stop reacting, you start thinking. You start seeing the truth behind the mask. You see fear where there was anger. You see pain where there was pride. You understand more, and you suffer less. Your life changes when you stop being ruled by reaction. You take back your power. You decide how to respond. You stop giving your peace away. You stop giving your energy to small things. That is when you rise. That is when you become powerful. Not loud, not forceful, but strong, quiet, deep, unshaken. That is what it means to master your power. Lesson 3. Self-worth from virtue makes you unshakable. True self-worth does not come from titles. It does not come from wealth. It does not come from followers or fame. It comes from virtue. Stoicism teaches that virtue is the highest good. When you build your life on virtue, your worth becomes unshakable. Virtue means living with honesty, with courage, with self-control, with wisdom. These are the pillars of a good life. These are the things no one can take from you. When you live by virtue, you become strong from within. You do not depend on praise. You do not fear judgment. Your worth is not built on things that fade. People will change. Life will shift. Money may come and go. Health may rise and fall. But virtue stays. Character stays. If you build your value on character, you will never fall apart. You will remain grounded even in the storm. The Stoic does not measure themselves by success. They do not measure themselves by failure either. They ask a simple question. Did I act with virtue? That question brings peace. That question brings clarity. It brings a sense of worth that no one can give or take away. Many people chase validation. They try to be liked. They try to be seen. But the Stoic looks within. They do not ask, do they like me? They ask, did I do what was right? That is a different life. That is a different kind of power. It is calm. It is deep. It does not shake when the world shakes. Virtue makes you free. It frees you from the need to impress. It frees you from the fear of failure. You are no longer trying to win approval. You are living by principle. That is rare. That is strong. That is unshakable. A person who lives by virtue holds their head high. They do not need to explain who they are. Their actions speak. Their calm speaks. Their presence speaks. Even in silence, they carry power because they know who they are. They know what they stand for. When you live like this, you inspire others, not by words, but by your way of being. People feel your strength. They feel your peace. That is the gift of virtue. It not only lifts you, it lifts those around you. It makes you a light in the dark, a guide in confusion, a rock in the storm. Lesson 4. Living by principles makes you unpredictable. People who follow the crowd are easy to read, easy to push, easy to use. But people who live by principle are different. They are steady, but they are not predictable, because their actions do not follow the world. They follow something deeper. Stoicism teaches that you must live by what is right, not by what is popular, not by what is easy. That choice makes you different. That choice makes you powerful. When you live by principle, your decisions are not based on emotions, not based on what others think. They are based on truth. They are based on values. You do not bend with the wind. You do not shift with the crowd. You are firm. You are steady. This steadiness makes you hard to control. People cannot guess your next move. They cannot pressure you with fear. They cannot tempt you with rewards, because your guide is within, not outside. You follow your values, not your fears, not your greed. Most people can be predicted. If you know what they want, you can control them. But the Stoic wants only one thing: to live with virtue. That is rare. That is strange to the world. And that makes you powerful, because you cannot be bought. You cannot be scared. You cannot be moved by tricks or threats. Your life becomes simple, not easy, but clear. You say yes only when it matches your values. You say no without guilt. You are not trying to please everyone. You are trying to do what is right. That is your only aim. That focus creates power. People may not understand you. They may question your silence. They may not like your firmness, but they will respect it. Over time, they will trust it, because principles never lie. They do not change with moods. They do not change with seasons. Living like this is not about pride. It is about peace. When you live by principle, your mind rests easy. You sleep well. You do not carry guilt. You do not carry regret. You know you did your best. You know you stood for what mattered. That gives you a deep peace. That peace is powerful. A life built on principle is strong. It does not shake in the storm. It does not fall when others fall. It stands. It guides. It shines. That is what Stoicism teaches. Do not be like the leaf in the wind. Be like the tree with roots. Be firm. Be clear. Be guided by truth. Then you will be free. Lesson 5. Calm silence shakes. Emotional crowds. The world is loud. People shout. People argue. People panic. But in the middle of noise, silence becomes power. A calm person in a storm becomes the strongest person in the room. That is what Stoicism teaches. Crowds move fast. They react. They feel without thinking. They shout without knowing. But a Stoic stays still. They do not rush. They do not scream. They watch. They wait. They think. That calmness has power. It changes the room. It changes the energy. Silence is not weakness. It is not fear. It is focus. It is strength. It is a choice to not waste words. A choice to not feed chaos. When a crowd is emotional, the one who remains still becomes the center. People feel it. They notice the calm. They are drawn to it. A Stoic knows that not every battle needs noise. Not every truth needs shouting. Sometimes peace speaks louder. Sometimes stillness has more weight than 1,000 words. When you remain calm, you can see clearly. Emotions blur vision, but silence sharpens it. You see what others miss. You understand what others react to. This clarity gives you control. It gives you grace. People who are loud want to be seen, but the calm person is already sure. They do not need to prove anything. Their silence is not empty. It is full of meaning. It is full of strength. In hard times, calm becomes leadership. When others panic, calm people guide. They act with care. They think with clarity. They speak with purpose. That is true strength. That is Stoic power. Being calm does not mean you do nothing. It means you do the right thing at the right time. You act, but not in haste. You speak, but not in noise. You choose peace over reaction. Lesson 6. Dignity rooted in self makes you unbreakable. Dignity is not pride. It is not arrogance. It is quiet self-respect. It is knowing your value and standing by it. Stoicism teaches that this dignity must come from within. When your sense of worth depends on others, you are weak. You would become a slave to praise, a prisoner to opinion. But when your worth comes from your own heart, no one can take it. That is dignity. Dignity means you walk with calm. You speak with truth. You stand with strength. You do not lower yourself for applause. You do not break yourself to be accepted. You remain who you are. This strength makes you unbreakable, because nothing outside can reach the inside. You hold your ground. You carry your values. You move with grace. The Stoic finds dignity in virtue, in living with wisdom, in choosing what is right. They do not chase fame. They do not beg for love. They live with self-respect. That respect builds a strong spirit, a quiet spirit, but a firm one. When you carry dignity, you do not need to fight for respect. You command it, not by words, but by how you live, by how you treat yourself, by how you treat others. You do not explain your worth. You show it. You do not beg for space. You create it. That is power. Not loud, not forceful, but deep, calm, unshakable. Dignity gives peace. You do not regret who you are. You do not doubt your path. You trust your steps. You know what you stand for. That is rare. That is strong. Stoicism teaches us that the world may rise and fall. People may come and go, but your dignity is yours to keep. And when you live from that place, you cannot be broken. You become a person of truth, a person of strength, a person who rises above noise, above fear, above control. You become whole. You become free. That is what it means to be truly powerful. That is what it means to be uncontrollable.